it's Connie Erickson, and welcome to another Live at 5. Last week was part one of Talking Under Fire. I explained how to empathize, disarm, and negotiate. So if you had a disagreement, I hope you tried it out. It takes practice, so keep at it. Today, I want to talk about what to do in between fights so that you can be more effective next time. That is, fight less frequently and less painfully. Let's start with a rewind. This is prep work. You'll be much better able to handle criticism if you can learn from your past arguments. I want you to think back to the last time your partner or anyone else criticized you. Maybe it was a coworker or a boss. Anytime you felt under fire will do. I want you to think back. How did you feel? What were your automatic thoughts? Generally, we humans not only experience something, but we also create an entire narrative around it. So if someone's criticizing you, you might have thoughts like these. She hates me. We're probably going to break up. My boss thinks I'm incompetent. He thinks I'm stupid. Nothing I do is good enough for her. He doesn't care about me at all. So now it's your turn. Think back to the last time you were criticized. What were your thoughts? You probably had some kind of monologue going on about how your partner's a jerk or how unfair things are or how your partner doesn't appreciate everything you do or all of your stressors. The thing is, our thoughts almost always make sense at the time, but they're not always helpful and not even always realistic. So now that you've identified those thoughts, I want you to evaluate them and then, if necessary, make them more realistic. Here's what I mean. The questions I usually ask about each thought are, what is the evidence to support this? And is there another way of looking at it? So here's what I mean. She hates me. We're probably going to break up. Well, she is mad at me and feels like I was insensitive. So that's the evidence. But we fought before and we haven't broken up yet. It'll probably be okay this time too. That's the alternate way of looking at it. Using this technique, the thought, my boss thinks I'm incompetent, becomes, even though I made this mistake, there are plenty of things I do well. She doesn't expect me to be perfect. He thinks I'm stupid becomes, he wants to make sure I do it right, but that doesn't mean he thinks I'm stupid. Nothing I do is ever good enough for her becomes, just because she doesn't like the way I load the dishwasher doesn't mean she hates everything. See how that works? If you believe your automatic thoughts, your mood and the way you respond to your partner are very different than when you're thinking in a more balanced way. I want you to do this because this will help you see the effect of that criticism on you and realize that effect and your reactions are not set in stone. You can control, you can't control what your partner says or how they say it, but you can start to control what you tell yourself. And this will help you be less reactive in the future. Often we get angry because our partner's saying something that's inaccurate, like, I do not always leave dishes in the sink. There's this like weird unsaid belief that we must agree on exactly what happened and how it happened before we can move forward. If you notice that and challenge that, moving forward becomes much easier. You might discover that you can move forward with a remedy without even being in complete agreement. For more, look back to last week's video. Of course, we want our partners to remember things the way we do. We want to feel validated. We all want to feel love and approval, which is why criticism feels so crappy. But why do you need to feel awful because they're not remembering things right? So notice what you're telling yourself about that, like she must see the truth or we must agree on what happened. Noticing that will help you keep your cool and make it easier to move forward. This is hard work. We're so used to believing the things that we automatically tell ourselves, the things that automatically pop into our heads, that we rarely stop to consider if those thoughts are even helpful or true. So the next time you've been criticized, I want you to rewind those painful game tapes and see if you can tease out those thoughts. And then find a way to evaluate them and change them into ones that are more realistic and even more helpful. It takes practice and lots of it, but your reward will be a much better ability to remain calm and to be in control of your reactions. So, drop a line or get in touch with me if you want further coaching on this, but give it a try and see what happens. Let me know. All right. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next week.